is CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Naja Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. It is the first official day of the rainy season, but everyone is talking about the heat. Shane, it is brutally hot out there.
That's right, Naja, and I think that's why we wore blue today. We wanted to try and cool things off for South Floridians, didn't we? Let me tell you, it is hot outside, but it sure is gorgeous. Opening up the windows here from the next weather sphere, seeing those gorgeous blues across the waters just off the coast of downtown Miami, and some beautiful blue skies as well. But let's talk about that heat. Currently, temperatures are sitting in the mid 80s to lower 90s across South Florida, sitting at 88 in Miami, 86 in Fort Lauderdale and Homestead, and 85 for my friends in Key West and Marathon. Now, if you're someone who's going to be dining out this evening, please hydrate, as temperatures will still be sitting in the 80s over the next several hours. No rain concerns for you, though, and that's going to be because of this right here. Let's go ahead and take a look at why it is so hot across South Florida. This is going to be due to an area of high pressure that's currently sitting over the Gulf, and areas of high pressure like this warm things up and dry things out. So we are dealing with no rain chances and elevated temperatures. In fact, yesterday was our hottest day of the year so far. Tomorrow morning, we'll wake up to a mild start, lower to mid 70s in areas such as Pompano Beach, Miami, Kendall, and Homestead. Down in the Keys, it might be a bit warmer in the upper 70s for both Key West and in Marathon. Now, high temperatures tomorrow afternoon, we might crank up the dial a little bit, especially for my inland areas, Weston, Davie, Cooper City, anywhere from 91 to 92 degrees. Along the immediate coastline, I can see it just shy of 90, such as in Fort Lauderdale, Dania Beach, and even Hollywood and Hollandale Beach. And as we make our way to Miami-Dade, I do see us hitting 90 degrees in Miami, 86 in Palmetto Bay, and 89 in Country Walk, and even the afternoon in the Keys. Just very near summer-like with us here in the mid to upper 80s. So area-wide, just make sure you are hydrating as we close out the work week. Now, our normal high this time of year is 87. So when we're talking 90 degrees, it's not that crazy, is it? However, we have even warmer days on the way. In fact, around 91 for the weekend, 92 as we head into the beginning of next week. That would make it our hottest days of the year so far. But even though you're seeing 90s on the thermometer, it's going to feel like it's in the mid 90s to maybe even the triple digits. So I cannot stress the importance enough of making sure that we are staying hydrated. Now, today also kicked off South Florida's rainy season. It lasts from mid-May all the way to mid-October. We can expect days with higher humidity, storms almost every afternoon, and then we also see heavier rainfall totals due to things such as hurricanes and sea breeze fronts. But we are practically rain-free for now. The rainfall outlook over the next several months, though, does hint towards above average rainfall chances as we make our way to South Florida, which is good news for our drought conditions. We did see improvements in this week's drought monitor, but unfortunately not enough to get us out of the drought. But fortunately, we are not going to be adding to our rain totals over the next several days. The weekend looking hot and dry. If we are trying to sniff out some rain, maybe the middle to end of next week, where we have a 10 to 20% chance for some isolated showers on Wednesday and Thursday. Naja.
Thank you, Shane. Now to the Trump presidency. President Donald Trump is in the United Arab Emirates today. It's the final leg of his Middle East trip. He left Qatar this morning after rallying troops and talking about a possible deal with Iran. CBS News Miami's Natalie Brand has the latest.
President Trump arrived in Abu Dhabi to great fanfare, complete with a military honor guard, music, and dancing. It's an elaborate welcome he has received on each leg of his Middle East trip. In the United Arab Emirates, he made the country's largest mosque his first stop, walking shoeless out of respect.
This is an incredible culture that I can say.
Later, the president heads to the presidential palace for an official state visit. President Trump is using the trip to tout investment commitments and defense partnerships. Before leaving Qatar, President Trump held a campaign-style rally at Al Udeid Air Base, the largest U.S. military installation in the Middle East.
As president, my priority is to end conflicts, not start them, but I will never hesitate to wield American power if it's necessary to defend the United States of America or our partners.
During a business roundtable earlier in the day, the president suggested Iran may be close to agreeing to a nuclear deal.
They're not going to make, I call it in a friendly way, nuclear dust. We're not going to be making any nuclear dust in Iran.
He also alluded to his previous threat of military strikes.
I think we're getting close to maybe doing a deal without having to do this. There's two steps. There's a very, very nice step, and there's a violent step.
President Trump urged Qatar to help persuade Iran to reach a deal. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
A case before the Supreme Court could have big consequences for President Trump's agenda. It involves his executive order to end birthright citizenship. The case focuses on the scope of a federal judge's ability to issue nationwide injunctions blocking the order. The court is expected to issue a ruling before the end of its term. That's in late June or early July. We are keeping an eye on your money. Your next Walmart run could cost you a little more. The retail giant is warning that it is not immune from President Donald Trump's tariffs. It plans to raise prices on some items, but did not release details on which items would be impacted. The price hikes will likely begin later this month. CBS News Miami's Steve Majiri will have the full report coming up tonight at 6. Myanmar-based Spirit Airlines plans to offer seats with more legroom. It is part of the carrier's updated Go Comfy fare bundle. Under the new plan, there will be extra legroom instead of a blocked middle seat. Flyers can purchase the new extra legroom fare this month. The new seating will be installed starting in June. The company expects to roll out extra legroom seats across most of the fleet by July. If you are feeling a little adventurous and want to make some extra money, you can now sign up for the 2025 Python Challenge. The hunter who captures the most pythons can win $10,000. CBS News Miami's Morgan Reiner was in the Everglades today, and she learned how important this challenge is for our ecosystem.
The Florida Everglades has a problem, and it's this. The Burmese python is an invasive species, and for the public, it's almost hunting season.
Registration for the 2025 Florida Python Challenge is now open.
Starting July 11th, people who register for the Python Challenge have 10 days to capture as many pythons as possible.
It's a good day for the Everglades, and unfortunately, a bad day to be a python.
It's a challenge that started 10 years ago when something more needed to be done.
This snake has become top of the food chain and can destroy the food chain of the Everglades, and without a healthy food chain, you cannot have a healthy environment.
Alligator Ron Bergeron, a Florida wildlife expert, said pythons are destroying the famous ecosystem.
If you can send someone to the moon in a rocket ship, we should be able to save our planet.
To participate in the challenge, you must register online and take a course on how to safely and humanely capture the snake.
Sometimes it's just a waiting game.
And we got a look at how it's done.
If I happen across a python, what I'm looking for is for that snake to be completely extended, mostly the head region to be extended away from the body.
Because once the head is flat, it's pinning time.
And I'm going to go in for my pin right now.
These Florida pythons can reach 20 feet long and up to 200 pounds.
And as soon as you capture a snake, you want to ditch the stick as soon as possible, and that leaves this hand to either take control of the head and deal with the rest of the body.
In 2024, more than 800 people participated, capturing nearly 130 pythons. The winner captured 20 of them. Officials here said that this challenge is not the silver bullet. It's just one tool in the toolbox. In the Everglades, Morgan Reiner, CBS News, Miami.
When we come back, Sean Diddy Combs' ex-girlfriend is back on the stand. It's for cross-examination from the defense. What she had to say in her third day of testimony. Calling all Marlins fans. The Fish are hosting the Tampa Bay Rays tomorrow night, and you can watch the game for free on CW Miami 33. First pitch is at 7:10.
Saving like $300 a month.
$300 a month, and you can do it too, all with the help of your car.
So it's almost like your car is an ATM.
CBS Miami shows you how some South Floridians are saving big. Tonight at 5:30.
Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Attorneys for Sean Diddy Combs get their first chance to question his former girlfriend today. The prosecution's star witness has already given 2 days of shocking testimony. She says she was physically and sexually abused by Combs for years. CBS News Miami's Bradley Blackburn reports from New York City.
Cassie Ventura took the witness stand again Thursday, this time being cross-examined by attorneys for Sean Diddy Combs. The defense began the day presenting romantic text exchanges between the former couple, going back as far as 2007. Combs' attorneys then showed more explicit messages to the jury, which they insist prove Ventura was a willing participant in so-called freak-offs, referring to them in a 2009 email as the next step in their sex life. Over the past 2 days, the prosecution One star witness, who's 8 months pregnant, has detailed physical and sexual abuse she allegedly endured during her 10 years with Combs. Ventura told the court the music mogul coerced her to take part in the drug-fueled sex sessions with hired male prostitutes that took place across the globe, and even raped her in 2018 as their relationship was coming to a close. She broke down in tears as she recounted later going to rehab and trauma therapy in 2023.
From the defense, their job is going to be to distract and attack.
Attorney Judy Saunders specializes in sexual abuse cases.
What the defense will do is that they will say that she may have even willingly used Mr. Combs. They're also going to attack that she stayed and that it was against her will.
Ventura is just the first of at least 3 women expected to testify against Combs, who stands accused of sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs has denied any wrongdoing in the case. The defense argues that his accusers consented to all sexual activity. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
In today's Health Watch, the Environmental Protection Agency says it is rolling back limits on some forever chemicals in our drinking water. These human-made additives have been found in more than 2,700 water systems across the U.S. The Biden administration established limits on them. They've been linked to serious illnesses, including heart disease, cancers, and abnormal development in babies and children.
And it's not just in our drinking water, by the way. It's also in the soil. They found it in rainwater. And it's estimated that some 30,000 industrial polluters are putting out PFAS chemicals into the environment in this country.
The EPA says limits will stay in place for the 2 most common chemicals, but it is rolling back the rules on others to give water systems more flexibility. That does it for your CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Naja Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami, and have a great day.